Hi everyone and welcome back to the Say It competition. Say It, as you know, is our online contest where the Arts Centre actors are taking centre stage and taking on monologues. Now, 2 weeks ago, they started off the competition with Contemporary Week, and then last week, they took on the Great British Monologues. But this week, they are taking on Comedy Week, and all the coaches agree it's the toughest one yet.
Can we talk about week 3, which is Comedy Week? Because I personally think that comedy it doesn't come naturally to everybody. Some people think they're funny and aren't funny. Mm-hmm. Some people don't think they're funny, but because of that become funny. And some people have this brilliant kind of ability to pick up a character, understand all of the nuance, understand all those little moments, and create funny. Mm-hmm. So for me, I look at my team, I think I've got some funny, genuinely funny characters who I think are, in contrast, are stronger in that week. What's your thoughts on comedy, Claire?
I know personally it's something that I don't have a great deal of knowledge about, because it's something I always shy away from as a performer and always have done. So I'm going to work twice as hard this week. I think I'm going to start with the characters when it comes to my team, and actually make sure we've all settled on a character that's funny. You think of your Pumbaa, your Timon and your Pumbaa, so those sorts of, it might be Disney, it might be something else. And if we start with the character and then look at the speech, kind of enter it through that way.
I'm like you, I think as a performer it would be something where I think it's easier to be funny with another actor on stage with you or in a scene with you. So to be it on your own, it's much more technical, I think, and it's more about the timing and it's more about the intonation and pace. So I do think there's a load more skill in it rather than just feeding off the banter of another person in the room.
Yes.
What I'd hope that as a team, my team can do this week is distribute kind of evenly amongst the types of comedy that there are. So I'd love to see some of them take on a bit of a dark comedy element. I'd love to see some of them do the fantasy, goofier characters, and then the whole spectrum in between.
I think this week as well, what we've been talking about camera placement and where those eye lines and those eyes are going in when they're filming their pieces is going to be key in picking up some of that comedy.
I think what you said, your point you made was a great one about, we call it sitcom, don't we? Situation comedy. So someone walks into a room, but because of the scene that's happened before, just that walking in, it's not funny, but it's funny because of the scene. Yeah. And you can't do that in a minute.
No, those moments are really hard to create.
You've got to create that. So I think that that is going to be really, really tough. I also think about comedy personally when I'm working with young people is, it's so hard to be funny. And if they don't feel like they're being funny, they feel awkward and they feel self-conscious, and then they're definitely not going to be funny. So this week is very much about not caring and just letting go and just letting the sort of text and the thing do the work. And I look at some of my team again. They're just naturally, a lot of them are naturally funny, and I look at the likes of Megan, who has always done funny stuff, and she's a bit goofy, a bit daft, and I want to see that. Like to Joel as well, little Joel, he's just a genuinely kind of.
I think there's such a difference between physical comedy and vocal comedy as well. So to see who favours one over the other or marries them up together, it's going to be really interesting.
Because it goes back to a little bit as well what we've kind of said throughout the whole process of like if Molly on my team this week picks a similar or the same type of monologue as Kiki, one of them is surely going to be ill-fitted, so to play to each other's strengths I think will be particularly useful in this week.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it'll be interesting, and I know the way to judge it I guess will be, it's going to be easier this week to judge it, because you're just going to go, I just thought it was hilarious.
Who gave me the reaction?
And if you're laughing at it, and even if you don't understand why you're laughing at it, I think that will be the acid test of, did this work?
Yeah.
Yes, it worked. So, Yeah, no,
brave.
good week.
But why don't you decide for yourself what you thought of this week's contestants? Because let's get straight into seeing how they got on. Here is the first round of contestants. It's Team 1, Team Claire, with their bunch of brilliant performances. Have a watch.
You say this yourself, Pops. This guy I'm talking to, sneaking up on you. Whoa, slippery little devil, hey? Get back here. Oh, no, you don't. Well, I must have scared him off then.
The indestructible Mushu. Pretty hot, huh? Hey, dragon. I'm not a lizard. I don't do that little tongue thing. Intimidating on Barrett. Of course, I'm travel size for your convenience. If I was my real size, your cow here would die of fright. Down, Bessie.
Excuse me. Woohoo, little fella. Hello. Don't be rude. Say hi. It's bingo. Nemo was taken to Sydney. Yeah, it's really important that we get there as fast as we can. So can you help us out? Come on, little fella. Come on. Oh, big fella. Whale. Okay, maybe he only speaks whale. Ooh, we need to find his son. Can you give us directions to come back?
What do you mean I didn't get the role? Who else could you possibly cast? Ashley. As if, please, her dancing was like this. Whereas my dancing was like this. And her acting was like this. When I heard about Mr. Wonka's golden tickets, I switched from gum to candy bars. Whereas my acting was like this. When I heard about Mr. Wonka's tickets, I just switched from gum to candy bars. What do you mean I didn't get the role?
I can't believe I did this. I can't believe I did this. I can't believe I did this. But Mother would be so furious. I mean, that's okay. What, she doesn't know one kill her? Right? Oh my god. This would kill her. Oh no. This is so fun. I'm a horrible daughter. I'm going back. I am never going back. I'm such a despicable person.
So, you know how people have habits that get you down? Well, like Bernie. Bernie likes to chew gum. No, not chew. Pop. So there's this one day, and I'm feeling really irritated and looking for sympathy. And there's Bernie, lying there, drinking beer and chewing. No, not chewing, popping. So I said to him, you pop that gum one more time. And he did. So I grabbed the gun off the wall and fired 2 warning shots into his head.
Today is my last day as a teenager because at midnight tonight I turn 20 and I am not okay with that. So I've decided to start a protest. Down with mortality. My parents are even more concerned than when I went on a climate strike. They say, don't be silly, you're so young, you've got your whole life ahead of you. They can't fool me. I know it's a slippery slope. 20 leads to 30. 30 leads to 40, and 40 leads to death. We used to have sleepovers and watch scary films we weren't allowed to watch, and shout until our parents came down and said, keep it down, we've got work in the morning. In the morning, I go to my horrible part-time job with my horrible boss, and there's nothing I can do about it because apparently when you're an adult, you just have to put up with it. And I can't quit because my name is on the bill. And I can't live without my phone because I need it to compare my life to my more successful friends.
Drink! I need a pig here! I love a warm pig's belly for my aching feet. Would you like one, Sit. Sit! Get out! Where are my fat boys? You must meet them. Fat boys! There they are. Aren't they adorable? They have the oddest way of speaking. Speak, boys, amuse us. Speak!
Didn't I tell you that Team Claire had some fantastic performances on there? And considering how challenging this week has been, it's a real testament to how resilient all the contestants are. Let's move over then to Team 2, and that is none other than my team, Team Joe, and let's see how they've gotten on in this week's round of the competition. Hi guys, so week 3, comedy week, it's been difficult for my team. We've done a lot of changing monologues, a lot of changing them last minute, picking up new ones to make sure that they fit the performer. But do you know what? We've come out the other side, and we've come out the other side stronger because of it. I am really proud of everyone's performances this week, and I do hope you really enjoy them as much as I have, because I've absolutely loved looking at the final product that we've created. So, guys, sit back, relax, and here are my team's entries for week 3, comedy week. Enjoy.
You accidentally knocked down some pigs' houses with a sneeze. Yeah, a sneeze. Then they start telling stories about you. And now there's a girl in a red hood. Imagine what they're going to say next. I've still got team issues too. Everyone is going around going, what big teeth you have. What big nose you have. It just hurts. I just want to go someplace where I don't bother anyone. They're always promising happy endings, but where's my happy ending? They're always reserved for princesses and cute little animals.
So, okay, like right now, for example, the Haitians need to come to America. But some people are all, what about the strains of our resources? And it's like, well, one time I had this garden party for my father's birthday, and I said RSVP because it was just a sit-down dinner. But some people that came didn't RSVP, and I was like totally bugging. I had to haul my ass to the kitchen, reorganize the whole food, and like set extra places. But at the end of the day, I mean, the more the merrier. And so, if the government could just get in the kitchen and rearrange some things, we would certainly be able to party with the Haitians. And in conclusion, may I just remind you that it doesn't say RSVP on the Statue of Liberty. Thank you very much.
Hello. Oh, where is? My name is Doug, and I've just met you, and I love you. My master made me this color. He is a good and smart master, and he made me this color so I may talk. Squirrel? My master's good and smart. Oh, it is, because my master's smart. Hey, will you cut that? Come on, me family. I used that to to talk with, and I'll be very grateful if you stopped. Have you seen a bird? I've been sent on a mission by my pack on my own, and I'm on its scent. I'm a great tracker. Did I mention that? That is the bird. I have never seen one up close before, but that is the bird. May I take your bear back to camp with me as a prisoner?
Can't believe I did this. I can't believe I did this. I can't believe I did this. Mother would be furious. But what she doesn't know won't kill her, right? Oh my gosh. This would kill her. This is so fun. I am a horrible daughter. I'm going back. I am never going back. Woo! I am a despicable human being. Best day ever.
Dad, I worked all day and night to find you, and that's exactly where I'm from. Santa must have called you. Go on with what, Dad? Yeah, sure, anything for you, Dad. I'm with my dad, and I never met him before, and he asked me to sing him a song. I was adopted, but you didn't know I was born. So I'm here now, I found you, Daddy. I found you, and guess what? I love you, I love you, I love you.
Oh, hi, you're the new kid, right? I'm Archie. I walk by your house each morning when you're waiting for the bus. See, I get on the special needs bus because of my crutches. It's okay. At least I don't get made fun of on this special needs bus. That'd be ironic. Are you looking for Patrice? Yeah, I know her. She's like my best friend. Also my only friend. I can help you find her, and then maybe you can do something for me. A deal of sorts. A no big deal. I need a date with Kendra. She wants me. That's fine. I'll just sit next to her at your bar mitzvah, rub my leg against hers, hope I feel it, and then before long I'll be attending to her special needs. Do I really need an invite to your bar mitzvah? Would your mom really throw Tiny Tim out onto the street, and so close to Christmas? I understand, even though it is a sick boy's dying wish. Oh, did that slip out? I have a neuromuscular disorder. Come on, Evan. There's one person in this school who can help me, and that's you.
I'm looking for love. I'm actively looking for love. You know those traffic light parties where you wear red if you're not available, amber if you might be, and green if you absolutely are? Well, I'm on green constantly. I like a lot of things. I love a lot of things like friends and food and parties and events and the weather and, just hanging out. I like Facebook a lot. I have it as an app on my iPhone, which I kind of hate. I like to see myself as quite a artsy kind of person, kind of like a free spirit even, which sounds really cringe when you put it like that, but when you get to know me, I'm not so bleh, Let's just take a breath. It's normal to think like this. We're about to make a lifetime commitment. We're gonna be together forever. Just you and me. Forever. Which is great. It's great.
It's every girl's dream, right? But, you know, I'm so young. And obviously I thought I would have done way more before I tied myself to one person for the rest of my life. But does anyone truly feel ready for marriage? I mean, yeah, probably, but it's not like I'm dying. I'm just not gonna be single anymore. Oh, go on first dates. Or have first kisses with new guys. Or go to DJ booths and dance around and hope someone likes what they see and offers to take you home. Oh, is it just me or is it crazy hot in here? Can someone open a window, please? Ew, my finger's swelling up. Ugh. Ugh. Why is your grandmother's ring so tight?
So in Team Joe, we've tried to hit all angles of comedy, and hopefully that will win us some real recognition in the eyes of our coaches and in the guest coaches' eyes as well. There's still one more team to check in with though, and that is none other than Team 3. It's Team Mark.
Hey everyone, hope everybody's well. Welcome to Comedy Week here on Say It. I think this week was a real challenge for everybody because everyone's realised that it isn't easy to be funny. But my group, as always, they work really hard, they embrace the challenge straight away, no nonsense, no fuss, and I think they've all produced some really, really solid pieces and some really, really funny ones as well. So I hope you enjoy them. This is Team Mark.
Yabba dabba doo! Homer Simpson, he's the coolest guy in history. From the town of Springfield, he's about to hit a chestnut tree. Down! Must protect the sugar. Thieves everywhere. Strong must protect the sweet. Sweet. When you're in America, first you get the sugar, then you get the power, then you get the women.
Who's invited me down there with such a short notice? Even if I wanted to go, my schedule wouldn't allow it. 4 o'clock, wallowing self pity. 4:30, stare into the abyss. 5 o'clock, solve world hunger. 10, no one. 5:30, exercise. 6:30, did with me. I can't control that again. 7 o'clock, wrestle with myself loving. I'm booked. Of course, I bumped 11 to 9. I could still be done in time to lay in my bed and drift off to madness. But what would I wear? Stupid. Ugly. Out of date. That's it, I'm not going.
Hi, I'm Evan Goldman. I live at 224 West 92nd Street, in the heart of Manhattan. My life just went to hell. Ugh, let's talk about being 13. It is a nightmare. I got hair growing in places, well, that I didn't even know were places. Plus, my parents, they just broke up. Plus, it's nearly my bar mitzvah, the one event that defines you, the Jewish Super Bowl. I don't care how much my parents hate each other. They best pull it together for this event and make sure that everything about this party is absolutely, positively, for once, God, perfect. One second. Hey, Mom, what's up? Moving? Wait, you didn't say anything about moving. Indiana? No!
Oi! Sorry, the mic's not working. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the launch of Kafka's motorbike, the greatest book of our time. Except for your books, Mr. Rushdie, which are also very good. And Lord Archer, yours aren't bad either. Anyway, what I mean is, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the launch of, well, one of the top 30 books of our time anyway, at least. And here to introduce it properly is the man we all call, Mr. Fitzherbert, because that is his name.
Okay, so, for example, the Haitians need to come to America. But some people are all, what about the strain on our resources? But it's like when I had this garden party for my father's 50th birthday, right? I said RSVP because it was a sit-down dinner. But some people came that did not RSVP. And I was totally bugging. I had to haul ass to the kitchen, redistribute the foods, squish in extra place settings. But by the end of the day, it was the more the merrier. And so, if the government could just get to the kitchen, rearrange some things, we could certainly party with the Haitians. And in conclusion, may I please remind you that it does not say RSVP on the Statue of Liberty. Thank you very much.
I got a C on my coat hanger sculpture. How could anyone get a C on a coat hanger sculpture? May I ask a question? Was I judged on the piece of sculpture itself? If so, is it not true that time alone can judge a work of art? Or was I judged on my talent? If so, is it fair that I was judged on a part of life which I have no control of? If I was judged on my effort, I was judged very unfairly, for I tried as hard as I could. Was I judged on what I learned about the project? If so, then we're not you, my teacher, also being judged on your ability to transmit your knowledge to me. Are you willing to share my seat?
Allison? Oh God, it's me, it's Linda. I glued myself. I glued myself to myself. No, my cheek and my hand. I was fixing the chair that Aunt Fran sat on, you know, the one that she broke with her big fat... Yeah, the wooden one. Anyway, I saw some cracks and I thought it would just be easier if I glued the whole bottom. Yeah, it's stronger. Yeah, what am I gonna do? I was walking around the house before like a complete... Yeah, and I tried everything. I tried the Febreze, the Windex, the nail polish remover, some soap, some Febreze, some vodka, and even some Pledge. And it won't come off. And now my face looks swollen. And I've only got one arm and now one eye because the other one's really watery. Am I gonna go blind? What am I gonna do? Allison? Allison! Allison!
And Team Mark, as well as their brilliant performances, rounds up this week in Say It. Comedy Week has definitely been one of the toughest weeks, but the contestants have stayed strong, brave and bold, and have pulled through with some brilliant performances to show off. Let's check out then what our coaches, me, Mark and Claire, thought about this week's contestants. So here is a look at what we had to say when we sat down and discussed our highlights from this week.
Right guys, what a week. Oh my goodness me, Comedy Week was. I think it's no lie that my group found it a little bit tricky to find the beat this week. I would have done if I was in this group, to be fair. But actually, I'm really proud of how they all grafted through, really sort of rose to the challenge and created some really funny pieces in the end. So, Mark, what do you think?
Well, looking at your group, I think when we said this last week and we looked at your group, I think we highlighted your group as the one that comedy week they may struggle. Simply not because they're a lack of talent, but you know, this thing about I have to be funny and how that would play out. But so for me, your week, probably one of your biggest divas on a day was my choice is Libby. And I'll tell you why. So I think that, you know, the word drama tends to come from conflict. It comes from a moment where you've got two opposing thoughts or two opposing things, and that's where the drama comes from. And a lot of the time, that's where the comedy comes from. So looking at your group, you know, you had people like Lucy and the Whale, you had Maddie being her parents, you know, you had Ava's kind of internal monologue, you had Rosa being happy or, nice or evil. And so there was all of those pieces that were kind of one or the other. And I felt like Libby, who was the kid who should have got the part and the kid who didn't get the part, and she was able to play both of those. And I think that the most successful pieces were the ones that were able to show a real contrast between those two opposing forces. And I think Libby did that really well, despite knowing Libby that she probably hated the sheer thought of comedy. But I think what she ended up pulling together was really clever, was really well executed, and actually it was a funny piece. So for me, it was Libby.
A little Easter egg there about Libby's piece, she actually was torn between two and ended up amalgamating the two pieces, the diva audition piece, and then she was looking at Violet Beauregard from Willy Wonka, which she then ended up inserting into her audition piece. It was brilliant.
Yeah, no, I know how much she would have hated that, but she's a talented little performer, and I felt like what she pulled together was great. So yeah, Libby for me.
What about you, Joe?
Well, for me, and I did think Libby was great, but for me, I found Comedy Week on the whole, my team and how I'd have done it is a really, I agree with you, but it's a really challenging week. And I think had I been in the competition, I'd have found it just as challenging as so many did. But I also think it all inevitably comes down to comedy is an emotion first and foremost, and so the theme of the week is about captivating that emotion. And going back to something that Paul mentioned on his feedback in the podcast, all about feeling a truth or a connection with a part, I think one of the greatest examples of that is, do you enjoy the piece that you're doing? And so for me, it was Ollie who massively just stuck in my mind afterwards, because there was a just clear element of he loves this piece, and I think when the actor enjoys what they're doing, it's really easy to watch. So I think as much as the technical skill of comedy is so admirable and so commendable, for me, Ollie's was this very simply wholesome, fun piece that I then felt really fun watching it.
Couldn't agree more.
And interestingly with Ollie, he is my Mushu in the session. You can imagine, like, it's a good example of pick the right part, you know, and he is definitely the my Mushu in the session sometimes. But
Mulan 2021
great.
/ 22. Let's do it.
Okay, Joe, shall we move on to your group?
Yeah. So then my group, interestingly, all had a really varied reaction to it. Some people really took to it, some people really struggled with this week, and everything in between. But Claire, what did you think about my guys?
So I really want to talk about Kenna today, because I was really looking forward to seeing Kenna return to this style, because, you know, as a young kid, she filled those comedy roles so well in all the shows that we did, and she was always that big caricature of a comedy Captain Hook, and, you know, quite often a villain comedy as well from McKenna. But actually this week what she did was really clever, and first of all, the piece was hilarious, loved it, made me laugh, which is the important bit, but it was a very natural, almost sitcom comedy. It was a character quite close to her age, fair enough, maybe a few years older, but it wasn't a big caricature cartoon. It was a funny human being, which I really enjoyed seeing from her, but she still drew on all of those tools that she's used all the years that we've watched her, of the facial expression, the pace, the pauses, and I think it just really showed how versatile she is as a performer. Fabulous.
I think interestingly with McKenna's as well, and it's similar to people like Maddie's monologue this week and Corey and Ruby's, they're the type of monologue that you wouldn't sit and watch it and absolutely belly laugh at, and you don't have to for it to be a funny comedy monologue. No, yeah, I really liked Kenna's execution on hers as well. Mark, what did you think for yours?
Okay, so I want to build on what I said about Libby. So a lot of these people who had, you know, two characters, I think a lot of the good comedy monologues are that conflict between either you or yourself or you with somebody else. And I found that there was one part in yours who was actually, there was actually three characters, and that was Molly. And you know, Molly's was a really tricky piece, and it was a tricky piece to do well, because it was the person Molly wanted to be, the person, so that this cool kind of like out there hip kind of trendy person that she wanted to be. There was the character that she actually was, so this kind of like dorky, overexcitable kind of character in the middle, but then she also had to be the character that was the combination of them both. So there was so much going on in the scene, so much going on in her head, and she'd come up and then she, you know, so there was so many kind of decisions that she was having to make, so many sort of different sort of facets of the personality, and putting it all together was really funny, because it was funny in the sense of this girl is completely undateable, and I think that was the point. So, you know, I think Molly she's so physical, like she's got great energy and body language and very expressive in her face. But I think that one thing that she probably hasn't had a great deal of, or enough credit for maybe over the time, is how technically good she is. And I think that monologue was a great example of, it's not just fun and over the top, it was very, very technically good. So yeah, Molly for me.
And I don't think Molly wouldn't mind me saying this was the week that she was really the most concerned about, in terms of, she would say, comedy isn't my bag, it's not what I'm used to. But then having the discussion about that character, and is it pitched one way, or is it pitched much more the ugly Betty kind of, you're laughing at her because she's so undateable type of character, and what she kind of wrestled with that decision, everything just seemed to slot into place with that piece.
Yeah, I just think that there has to be a contrast, and it doesn't matter how big the contrast is, but there has to be a contrast, and I think that she did that really well without going too far with it. Okay, so my group, I think I was boasting a little bit at the start of the week because I felt like my group were much more naturally, maybe I wouldn't say they're much funnier than the others, but my group are the type of kids that are quite comfortable in a comedy space. Do you know, and I looked at mine and thought, yeah, and as it transpired, everyone was really quite comfortable with the week. I picked maybe Holly. Holly was, she'd put her hand up to say, maybe not so, but yeah, I thought there was no big over the top sort of, no diva fits, everyone was quite comfortable in that space. So Claire, what did you think? Who was your favourite?
Well, first of all, your whole team were just so super strong this week. I think they're just born comedians, that bunch of kids. I really enjoyed watching all of them, but one, oh my goodness me, I'm like, I want to laugh thinking about it. It was Megan. She was just hysterical. I just loved every second out of it, because if you think a lot of this week you watched all the performances, and what I was looking for was who actually got a reaction out of me, like who really made me giggle, and lots of them I had a lot of giggles through, but Megan's, it was just start to finish. I think she had such a great combination of the vocal comedy, all of her funny little voice, and the voice she was putting on to her friend on the phone, but then that physical comedy that went with it, of a whole hand being there the whole time. It was just so clever. I think Megan, as a performer, she is so comfortable in this kind of space that, you know, I spoke to her in the week that with comedy, a lot of it is timing, and Megan's comedy timing when she was speaking to the person and having this one-way conversation on the phone, that is so difficult. And actually her intuition regarding that and changes in voice, that the whole phone conversation element of it, I just thought it was hysterical. Really funny.
I watched you watching that piece as well, didn't I? And you were genuinely just laughing. And I think that Megan, you know, I don't think she would put her hand up and say, I'm really funny. She's probably the opposite, but it was a great.
Whether it just really appealed to my sense of humour, I don't know. But it was a very clever choice. I loved it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Joe?
Well, I wouldn't disagree with Megan being a real standout for the week, and to look beyond Megan then to someone else. I think someone who really stood out for me, but maybe for different reasons than anyone else this week, was Izzy. Now, there was for me an element with Izzy's where I felt like at parts vocally it lacked in clarity, but to put that to one side for a minute and look at what else she did, I thought it was fabulously directed. And we spoke a lot last week about the performers having to step into a director's role, and the scene progressed for me. So some of the feedback I was giving to my team from a performance basis was the energy level, if it starts high, a lot of these monologues seem like it needs to climax and go higher, and Izzy found this really different and really interesting way of doing that by actually progressing the scene on, so that she was at the table first and then she moved over to the dressers. So I thought the technical understanding of how to make it different was really, really good, and I actually really liked the attempt at the accent and loved the actual intonation and the inflection in the accent. It would have been that little bit of the clarity would have made it even better for me, but as a piece overall, I thought that was really, really nicely put together.
And I think that's a really good point about the clarity, because I know, you know, there is this thing of, certainly in youth theatre, where people sacrifice character for clarity. So they'd rather be so in character, but they lose clarity, and it's got to be the other way around. It's got to be clarity first, and then do as much as you can on top of that in terms of character. But yeah, no, I agree. I think it was a really challenging week for everybody, but a really good one that they all came through. And I think we've all still got a full team to go into
we have.
week 4.
Who'd have thought it?
So we'll see.
So that's what our coaches thought of this week in the competition. But you know we still want to check in with one more person, and that is this week's guest coach. Now, this week we are joined by another industry professional. She was a dancer before moving on to becoming a child actress on the West End, and since then she's become an agent, working for her own agency and helping actors, young and old, secure jobs on stage and in film and TV. She's here this week to give her opinions on our contestants. So here is Nicola Bolton of Nicola Bolton Management with her feedback from this round in the competition. Check it out.
Hi guys, I hope you're well. My name's Nicola Bolton from Nicola Bolton Management, and I've watched your tapes this week, and I just wanted to say how impressed I was by you all. I thought that you all committed to the parts that you had chosen. The accents were amazing, the energy and the thought that had been put into it was fantastic across the board in all ages, so you should be very proud. Sometimes my actors send me tapes back and they're not as good as yours, so well done. So there's a few that I just think stood out for me for different reasons, so I'm just going to go through them. So I really like Ava, the Tangled, and I like the fact that you filmed it in different, you edited it now, so you were in different scenes, so you'd thought about it almost like a storyboard, so I like that. Accent was great, very funny, so that was great. I really like Rosa as well. Again, you inhabited the character. Yeah, good characterization, brilliant vocal energy, and also you'd sort of, because I feel that when you wear clothes and costume, it makes you feel different. So you'd done that, you sort of got her with her neck up and everything. Brilliant, so well done. Another mention goes to Badger Buddy Elf. I loved that, it was great, well done. That made me laugh because, you know, Buddy Elf is just, it's just such a great piece, isn't it? So well done for that. And I liked Joel as well. I like the Simpsons, the Homer Simpson. I think that you'd thought about it, and maybe that's something you can build on, make it slightly longer next time. Who else? I mean, all brilliant. It's so hard. It's so hard to pick. And also Megan, with the glue and everything. So the phone call, very funny. Again, the characterization, the accent. A lot of you chose American, which was I found interesting. So you obviously watch a lot of American stuff, which is great. But there was some English in there and own accents in there as well. I mean, across the board, what is a comedy piece? What is a comedy piece? It's not a comedic actor is very different to a comedian. So I think that you all chose very wisely some very interesting pieces from films, things that you'd seen. There was one, Chicago, which was great, which again was from a song, wasn't it? Taken from a song. So well done, everybody. I was very impressed. Mark and his team should be very proud. And I look forward to seeing you. I think I'm watching the final, or I'm coming back anyway to watch some more tapes. So well done and keep going.
Thank you, Nicola, for your feedback on the contestants and for being a guest coach in the competition. And we'll see Nicola again at the final, because don't forget, for Say It, the last week is our finale, where we will have a panel of industry experts cast their votes on who they would want to be the winner of Say It. So, guys, it's now time for the contestants to get started on their next round, and that is Villains Week. Guys, Villains Week could be the best one yet. So contestants at home, get picking your monologues, and don't forget your coaches will be in touch over the weekend to help you craft those monologues into the very best pieces that they possibly can be. Plus, for those of you watching at home, don't forget to tune in to next Friday's episode for another phenomenal round of entries from our contestants. Well, guys, that's pretty much everything from the Say It team. We will see you again next Friday night at 7 p.m. But until then, have a brilliant week, a fantastic weekend, and we will see you all really, really soon. Bye-bye.